Hello, and welcome to the Advanced CESS Workshop, Section 2, CESS Database. In this session, we'll cover CESS Database Basics, together with what type of information is contained in the database and how it's organized, plus CESS Database item pricing details, including general information, pricing, and item notes. Also, the relationship between a CESS database record, we refer to that as an item, and how those fields operate in the spreadsheet. During the practice activity, you'll apply your knowledge of item structure by building a one-time item. Now remember, during this recording, you don't click or follow along. Simply watch the recording all the way through. I'll tell you when to pause the recording, and then you perform the activity per the CESS Advanced Workshop Manual. Let's begin. You'll log into EOS Explorer Extended, find your region, your park, the Other folder, and within the Other folder, you'll find a CESS Workshop folder and your username. This was all built during the basic training sessions. Locate your username, and we'll start the activity by building an estimate. You'll right-click on your username, thread through New, Timberline Estimate.
He clicks Timberline Estimate. The new estimate window pops up.
You'll remember that we're required to fill out all fields that have a yellow background, required fields. The red asterisks in the list on the left, the various panes that have required fields. We'll start with a file name. We'll just call it 12345-trails. And click through now the rest of the red asterisks. From the main pane, we'll pick a status, working.
Clicks Estimator Field.
Take a moment and look for your actual estimator name, the way it's listed in CESS. Now there's 3,500 records here, and there's a one-character jump field, just a one-character jump field. So you can start by clicking the pull-down and typing the first letter of your username. Don't type another letter. It will simply jump to that letter and you'll lose your place. From here, the best technique is to page down, clicking between the button and the lower arrow here, the down arrow. If you click in between, that does a page down for you. And you'll learn quickly where your name exists in the list. The first time through it may be a bit time consuming, but as you learn where your name is, you'll be able to get to it much quicker.
He scrolls through the name list and selects M. Kendall. He clicks Cover Page Headings in the left panel and clicks in the Line 1 field.
We'll navigate to the next required field. And again, just use the file name in the cover page heading here.
Types file name in the Line 1 field, clicks Job Classification in left panel.
Job classification is where we have to do most of the entries. Looking for a location number. Then leave work order blank. Use your Park Alpha. Work order type, we won't be using the field at all. So from the pull down, you can just select unknown.
Clicks the site number drop-down box.
If you know your site number, go ahead and pick it. If you don't know, for these activities, it doesn't really matter. We're not going to be using a site number for anything. If you happen to know it, put in the correct one. If not, any site number will do for these activities. By default, the Open Estimate checkbox should be checked. You want to verify that that's checked. You have all the red asterisks cleared. You've fulfilled all the field requirements. Simply click Finish. This will create the estimate and open it in CESS.
The spreadsheet appears.
Your estimate opens. Go to the bottom left-hand corner of the spreadsheet and verify or click and make sure that Phase Item Sequence tab is selected. Then go to Spreadsheet Layout and select the Phase Item Detail Layout. Click OK. And this organizes the columns in a way that allows us to view the fields that we're going to be populating while we build our one-time item sample. From here, click the blue 1 in the group of Takeoff icons. Now, building a one-time item consists of user-defined fields. This is where you can add a row to your spreadsheet without using the database information. We're going to use that in our sample today so you can explore building and manipulating these fields. The one field that still requires a database value is phase. And the reason that is that the item itself, the row itself, must have a spot when sequencing by the native indexing of group phase and item number. So simply click the list button next to the phase box here, and you'll navigate to phase 0613. And page down is a great way to go here. Find your 06, find 13, and we're looking for 2310 heavy framing. And that phase, once you select it, if you just double click, it nicely drops that phase number into the phase box. From here, you'll type the description.
He types the file name into the description field in the one-time item window. He clicks in the quantity field.
You'll enter a quantity.
He types 296,000.
And the first of two units that we're going to be exploring today. The first one is referred to as the takeoff unit. This is the unit that typically matches your quantity survey. How many feet? In this case, lineal feet. How many square feet? How many cubic yards? So whatever narrative or plans or scoping you have for your job, generally those quantities match this takeoff unit. And next, make sure that by default labor and material are selected. Avoid clicking the OK button, because next we're going to do this go to detail. And this opens the detail window for this row in your spreadsheet. Now, by default, the order units, the second unit type we're going to explore here in this session, default as the takeoff unit. And notice when the takeoff unit and the order unit match, there is no conversion, or what we refer to in labor and equipment as a productivity field.
Clicks drop-down box next to quantity column.
For labor, click in the unit box and just type a lowercase CD. For material, our order unit is going to be 1,000 board feet, and that's represented by an MEF. Now notice the minute the takeoff unit and the order unit are different, CESS opens up the conversion field and is asking what's the lineal foot per crew day or the lineal foot per 1,000 board feet.
He clicks in the convert field for labor.
For labor, type 131.15. The material conversion is 187.3.
Clicks in unit price field.
Our material price will be $1,300. Now remember, that's $1,300 per 1,000 board feet. And what we're saying is that it takes 187.3 lineal feet of 8 by 8 to make 1,000 board feet. So the price is always per the order unit, not per the lineal foot. Pricing is per the order unit, per 1,000 board feet. To get a labor price, we'll come down to the lower part of the dialog.
Clicks database.
And we'll click the list button and select a crew, go source database, And from crafts, we're looking for O2 carpenter 2. This will be a crew of 2 carpenters. Simply click OK, and it drops the crew in. Notice that the unit price is automatically returned from the rate table associated with this estimate. This was done when you created the estimate initially. It was by default given a rate table. And notice that your takeoff quantity then is multiplied times the conversion, and that produces an order quantity based in crew days. So item that we're building is saying to place 296 lineal feet of 8x8 at 131.15 lineal feet a day. It's going to take 2.257 crew days. Now when we say a crew day, we're instructing the software to return the total cost of the crew for a day. In our case, that's 2 carpenters. And its order quantity times the unit price that generates what we refer to as the category amount, in this case the labor amount. Same with material. It's the order quantity times that unit price that extends out and gives us the material amount. From here we'll click OK, and at that moment the rate tables are returned here to the item. And this is where the costing came from for the unit price for the labor. Notice that the fields in the detail window are the fields in your columns in your spreadsheet layout. This labor price here is this labor price here. What CESS does, once it's completed the calculation, and you have what we'll refer to as a cross-foot total, it takes the takeoff quantity and divides it into the category amounts and expresses that in a cost per unit. And that's why we'll see a labor cost per unit. And the unit they're referring here, when you see the slash, is the takeoff unit. So even though you're ordering it by crew day and you're using the crew and the rate table feature, CESS divides the takeoff quantity into the labor amount and expresses labor in a cost per the takeoff unit, in our case, lineal feet. The category totals are then added up and placed in the total amount column here. By total amount, they mean all the category totals are totaled up here. And once again, CESS divides our quantity, our takeoff quantity, into the total amount and expresses the entire item in a cost per that takeoff unit, in our case, lineal feet. Pause the recording and perform Activity 1 in Section 2 of the Advanced CESS Workshop Manual.